Dear JCPS, on the topic of continuous improvement, I bring you a question, a suggestion, and an invitation. First, the question. In May of 2014, State Auditor Adam Edelin published a report that found a few areas where improvement in our district was recommended. It found JCPS ranks at or near the bottom in teacher staffing and expenditures for instruction, while ranking the highest in categories of administrators, support staff, and instructional aides. Specifically, he found the district pays 369 administrators more than $100,000 a year. JCPS also has had the second highest student-to-teacher ratio, ranked the lowest in instructional spending, while ranking highest in administration and operations spending. It found that JCPS students face more restrictions on access to textbooks and had the lowest textbooks budget. More than half the teachers said students couldn't take home textbooks. It also found inadequate instructional resources for all students. 90% of teachers spent personal funds to supplement classroom resources. So my question is, how are we doing with these numbers today? Next is my suggestion. My suggestion, also in Edelin's audit, was the recommendation to add an at-large board member. As a district of choice, we have a need for broader representation. I believe it is time for our school board to move forward with this recommendation and add not one but two new positions in order to keep an odd number for purposes of voting. Have one of those members be from the community at large, and one of those members be a student voice. Third is my invitation. Having attended the work session on charters yesterday in Frankfurt, I found the presentation to be factual, but I felt the facts were presented in a way that leaned more toward favor of charters and may have omitted some of the risks and downsides that some of the groups opposed to charters have identified. This is concerning and presents an opportunity for education of our community members if we want to ensure legislation that will not undermine the success of our existing public schools. Because legislation can move quickly and the topics can be complex, it is imperative that we begin now educating and informing our community about trappings and pitfalls of charter school legislation and learn from other states that have gone before us. Our organization is part of a coalition with Save Our Schools Kentucky, which is a pro-public education advocacy group that seeks to educate and inform our community about pending charter legislation in our state and to empower and mobilize constituents to communicate concerns with their elected officials in order to ensure quality legislation. On January 5th, we will be hosting the first of many screenings of a film called Education, Inc. We also invite other organizations to join in the coalition for a more informed and mobilized community. If members in the audience would like a copy of the flyer, please see me afterwards. Since I have a little bit more time, I think I'm going to ramble on a little bit. It is important that we make Louisville and Kentucky special. The things that make Louisville and Kentucky special not be lost with any charter legislation, and I would like to also recommend these topics be included with your legislative agenda. For example, SPDMs should be part of every public school. In addition, charters should not take funding from public schools. These should be topics on our agenda. JCPS is already a